So, the third eye, is this biblical? Are Christians supposed to open it? We'll get into it, but check this out.
What does the Bible say about opening the third eye? Is it dangerous? Is it demonic? Will I get possessed? I've noticed that there are differing opinions all throughout Christendom.
So, to the point, is the third eye or the concept of the third eye biblical, and should we as Christians seek to open it? First of all, the third eye is not biblical, but spiritual eyes and having our spiritual eyes opened is 100% biblical. I want to point this fact out. What Satan does is he perverts and twists and counterfeits what God creates for his children. He always turns it into some demonic or ungodly type of thing. So in New Age practice, opening your third eye is basically opening up this ability to have a higher consciousness or a higher knowledge. Now, this is not done through God, and it's not done by seeking the true God of the Bible. And so what's actually happening, and I can speak on it because I've been through it, what's actually happening is you're tapping in to a demonic force. You're opening your mind to the influence of demons. And yes, it can feel like power. Yes, you can feel like you have this great knowledge, but it's really just a deception, and it's really just a twisted type of knowledge. So when it comes to the third eye, no, that is not biblical. However, the concept of having your mind open and being tapped into a greater wisdom and a greater knowledge is 100% biblical. All throughout the Bible, the Lord tells us from the Old Testament to the New Testament, I wish my people had eyes to see and ears to hear. Even Jesus says when addressing the crowds, seeing they see not, and hearing they hear not. Now, was he saying that these people didn't have physical eyes that they can see their surroundings, or physical ears that they can hear the audible noises in the earth? That's not what he was saying. He was saying their spiritual eyes have not been open. Their spiritual ears have not been open. They do not understand the spiritual truths and things of God. And the Lord wants us to open these spiritual eyes, but not the third eye. One is godly, one is demonic. One is done through God, through the Holy Spirit and through the Son, and one is done by demonic power and does not lead to true knowledge, but a falsified, perverted knowledge that will lead you into deception. Now, where did this third eye concept even come from, and where did the enemy pervert it?
Jacob wrestled with God. While Jacob was at the river Jabbok alone, he wrestles with God. After this encounter, Jacob called the place Peniel, saying, "It is because I saw God face to face."
That mountain was called Pineal. Sound familiar? The third eye, they say that this is connected to the pineal gland. Some people even call it opening the pineal gland, right? And this is where that concept comes from. It comes from the Bible. It comes from this mountain where Jacob was wrestling this angel, and he called that place Pineal. Why? Because he said, "I have seen God."
The third eye is the pineal gland that is located in the center of the brain. The pineal gland gets its name because of its pine cone shape.
Now, when Jacob was wrestling with this angel and he received this name change from Jacob to Israel, do you know what Israel happens to mean? Israel means to rule with God, or those who see God. He had new eyes that were opened up. He could see God in his eyes, in the eyes of his mind. He understood the truth of God. His mind was open to the spiritual truths that God wanted to reveal to him, the mysteries and secrets of God and of his word. This is the same thing that David asked for when he said, "Lord, open my eyes that I may behold the wonders in your law." David didn't need help opening his physical eyes to read the words on the page. David wanted his spiritual eyes open so he can see the deep things of God, those mysteries and secrets hidden within God and within his word. And Jesus wants the same thing for us. You know that symbol that you see that's supposed to represent the third eye, that Egyptian symbol? You guys familiar with that? Well, remember I said Satan always counterfeits everything that God does. Surprisingly, just as the Egyptians had a language or a written language called hieroglyphics, so did the Hebrews. And the Hebrews had a hieroglyphic language made up of pictures called the Aleph Bet. This is what was written on the tablets that Moses received. The language that the commandments was written in was this ancient Hebrew language. Now, one of those pictographs within the Aleph Bet, or one of the letters, better yet, within the Aleph Bet, is a letter called the Ayin, A-Y-I-N. Now, I wonder what this symbol looks like. That's right. It's the picture of an eye, and guess what it speaks of? Spiritual eyes, or having spiritual sight. Do you see the counterfeit? Do you see what Satan does? This is the true spiritual eyes, and this is where that originates from. Now, we're just scratching the surface. We're about to go a lot deeper. I need you guys to head over to my Patreon account, okay? There you can view the rest of this video. We go in detail about some very, very interesting things. You guys head over there and check out the extended version of this video. Subscribe, and I will see you guys there. God bless and shalom.